dirt, monkey.
What?
So you can hear what it sounds like.
I like it.
Damn bear. Look like Yogi Bear stole my gun.
Together.
This out?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. I must say, good things come to those who wait. I have been wanting to review the Rugged Suppressors Obsidian 9 for quite some time. I have heard this suppressor before. I've even reviewed the Obsidian 45 back in the day, but I've only heard it around other guns being shot, mostly at my own Suppress Fest that I put on for the public, which is an open shooting event, usually 2 days long, where you guys can come out and experience a bunch of products firsthand so you can hear it and make an educated purchase decision. But I've never heard it like out on my nice, quiet range. I love going out there in the morning. You can hear the birds chirping, the wind rustling the leaves, and then I go and disturb the peace by shooting my unsuppressed scenes, and then I throw a suppressor on and I get that really nice, uncluttered sound profile out there. Sounds really cool. To shoot it alone without other guns going off. So super excited to shoot this today for sure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take an in-depth look at the Rugged Suppressors Obsidian 9, and then we'll hit the range as usual and see what it sounds like. Let's get to it. All right, as usual, it comes in their little tooling case. All my dealers out there love these because they don't take up much room in the safe. We have the suppressor, and then looks like we have a very detailed manual, which is welcomed, and some decals and a welcome card. So first things first, let's cover the specs. Now, since this is a modular suppressor, I'm going to give you both sections here. So we're going to start with the full length and then the K length, the short length configuration on the length and the weight. So in the standard or full length configuration, it comes in at 7.8 inches with a weight of 12.7 ounces. Now, removing the front module and bringing your front cap back, we'll cover that in a second, drops your length down to 4.85 inches and your weight down to 8.7 ounces. So quite a difference there in the K configuration. As far as the diameter, it is 1.37 inches. The tube construction is 7075 T6 aluminum, and the baffles inside are 17.4 heat-treated stainless steel. Now, while we're on the tube, I want to mention that this back section here, this is 17.4 steel as well on the back section, and more on that later on why that is very important. As far as the finish, they have two colors and a high temperature Cerakote, black or flat dark earth. I actually requested the test suppressor to be flat dark earth and they accidentally sent the black one, so sad face. But in any case, no difference in sound. Obviously, just I really don't have any flat dark earth 9mm cans, and it would have looked really cool on this Beretta over here, but I digress. It is rated, of course, belt fed rated for 9mm, also rated for subsonic 300 blackout and 350 legend. So pretty stout little 9mm can here. Now, I do have some manufacturer tested numbers here. These are all at ear readings with subsonic ammunition. So at the ear, with the full length configuration on a 9mm pistol, it averaged 121.4 decibels, and then in the short configuration, 135.5 decibels. And then on a full length carbine, came in at 120.9 in the full length configuration, and then in the short K configuration on the same platform, it came in at 128.5 decibels. Now, those are from Rugged. I've never seen them fudge any numbers. They go to great lengths to test everything properly. They were one of the first companies out there publishing muzzle and ear readings back in the day. And I don't have to tell you this, if you've been around for any amount of time, the Obsidian 9 already has a hell of a reputation for being a very quiet suppressor with a great tone to it. Now, as far as warranty, lifetime and MSRP at $820. Now, let's cover kind of the special features, what sets the suppressor apart, and then we're going to hit that range. I want to spend more time shooting, less time talking in here. First things first, we'll cover the adapt module. Now, I mentioned this earlier, and that is the front section of the suppressor. That is how you can turn it from a full length to a K or short length configuration suppressor. Basically, you just unscrew it there. If you look closely, there is a gray or black looking O-ring here on the module, and that keeps everything locked in under recoil when you're shooting it on a pistol, because of course the suppressor is going to be bobbing up and down. So that's a nice little feature there. When you do first remove it, you'll see it's encapsulated. The baffles won't fall out, okay, because they slide out the front. To remove your front cap and to move it from here to there, you can actually use the piston in the back. So this is toolless, and you can change it in the field. Suppressortools.com, there's finish. But I do have it loose here because I took this apart earlier to get this beautiful B-roll you're about to see. So all you gotta do is remove it, and then you can just slide it on over and secure it to the front, or to the first half, and now you can shoot it in the K length. Okay, now be careful at the range, because if you go handling your adapt module, these baffles will come out. Now, since we're on the baffles, we'll go ahead and cover those. In the first half of the suppressor, it has 5 baffles. 3 are the same size, then you have a slightly shorter one, and then a little tiny mini one. Okay, so you're going to want to take care of the order, and they do cover that in that detailed manual I discussed earlier. On the other module, the front module, it has 7 baffles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are the same size, and then again it has another one of those mini baffles on the front. This one's a little easier to keep track of the order. So you have a total of 12 baffles here, which is why this suppressor has a reputation that it does. There's a lot of baffles in here slowing down those gases before it hits the atmosphere. Of course, anytime you have the shorter configuration, you're going to give that gas less time to cool and expand and slow down before it hits the atmosphere, so it is going to be noticeably louder. I would say short configuration, good for nightstand duty, take the edge off inside your house, and you're not going to have a giant broomstick on the end of your gun should you need to slice the pie and be all tactical Timmy in your house. I would just let the threat come to me, but hey, that's another discussion, another topic. So to clean it, maintenance, super simple. This is 17.4 stainless, so you can take it all apart and put it in any ultrasonic cleaner. I'll show you some close-ups here of the alignment tabs. So everything, all the keyholes here on the baffle, you're going to want to keep those all in line for maximum suppression benefits. So they make it super user-friendly. Clean it, dry it off, oil it up, snap them all together, and you are back in business. Put them back together properly, and then you either put it in the full length or the short length configuration. So cleaning pretty simple, baffle orientation simple, just pay attention. Now, I mentioned this earlier, this front section, the booster housing, stainless steel. Why is that important? One, it's going to keep a lot of the weight towards the rear of the firearm, balance it nicely, because this is all aluminum tube with stainless steel baffles, but that is where they engrave all your serialized information. This is your important tax stamp info here. So if you look close at this shot here, you'll see a seam. Now, from what I can gather, and you can tell, it looks like underneath that step up, it's going to be threaded. So should you have a catastrophic explosion here on the front, you're going to send this in, and they're just going to unscrew it there. I'm sure it's Loctited on. They're going to unscrew that and just screw on a whole new front section, and you're good to go. So all your important serialized information is back here where a bullet could not possibly hurt it, because your piston's going to line up with that as well. That's about how far it goes in the blast chamber. So very, very stout, no problems there, and happy to see that they're thinking of the end user as far as the longevity and protection of your $200 tax stamp and, 9-month to a year wait. I think that pretty much covers it. Like I said, I want to kind of keep this as brief as possible. I know there's a lot to cover, and I can get really, really crazy here into detail, but that is the gist of it. A very adaptable and modular 9mm suppressor. Of course, it can use silencer coat pistons at the back as well. The pistons that Rugged offers are a nice, beautiful gold color, that heat-treated stainless steel. and they do not have the lines cut into them for the Osprey series that Sound Circle has, so you're not going to have a lot of gas and granules hitting you in the face, because that's where that gas would leak while you're shooting. So more enjoyable using their piston series is what I'm trying to say. Of course, all toolless design. Kind of turn your fingers into a claw here, and you can remove the rear piston and drop in a 3-lug, which we will be doing later. Now, I know I have a rugged Suppressors 3-lug somewhere in here. If I can't find it, I'll use a Griffin armament. I'm sure it drops right in. Actually, there's one right here on the edge of my bench. Didn't plan on this, but let's see if it fits. Yes, it does. Just got to compress that spring, catch those threads there, and you're good to go. So, all right, we'll just use their 3-lug here. So today what I want to do is use this Beretta 92X Centurion. It's a little shorter barrel there, and this new Henry Model X chambered in 357 and 38 special because it's cool. I really want to shoot it on way more hosts and stuff for you so you guys can kind of hear what it sounds like, but I figure, you know, long barrel, closed breech, you know, a breech that opens, shorter barrel, kind of give you like each end of the spectrum, because we don't have all day to do this, and I need to shoot them in both the long and the short configurations. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit that range. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video thus far. My thoughts on the Obsidian 9. Let's start with the Beretta. Pretty loud little gun to tame here, as you saw with the unsuppressed scenes. Then we put the K configuration on, and it was definitely not backyard quiet. So if you want to shoot in your backyard and get away with it, throw that front adapt module on for sure. But what it is good for is home defense situation in your house, maybe a truck gun, maybe you have one of those console safes. It's just not big enough for a long full-size can. You can put a little K can on there and take the edge off should you need to use your firearm in close quarters. So that's pretty much what the short version's designed for on a handgun. We'll get to these later. Then we threw the full size on, so the full length configuration sounded really, really good. You could hear the action cycling, at least I could from my end. I was getting a little bit of unburnt gunpowder hitting my face, but not as bad as the old Octane 9 setup, if you guys remember that can. That one was pepper your face pretty good. So I would say minimal back pressure, at least on this host. Open breech host here, so I would assume you're gonna get more granules blown back through a breech as open as a Beretta 92. I guess I should have brought a different gun out here today to kind of compare the two, but I digress. So that's good for the Beretta. I did review the downrange scenes on that here, and it sounded really good downrange, which was cool. The Henry Model X that's still warm, really cool gun. I'm looking forward to review this one. You guys have seen this one in a couple of my reviews recently. Really, really cool gun. We were shooting 38 Special today, and which is naturally subsonic. So basically it's gonna be like shooting a 9mm out of a long barrel. So we put the short module on, and it sounded just as good as the long module. Of course, we got a little bit extra suppression when it was in its full-size configuration, but it wasn't needed. So that's gonna be the takeaway from a long barrel that gives the gas more time to expand versus a shorter barrel. So you can get away with the short K setup on a long barrel. This thing's just like really fun to shoot. If you don't have one, I highly suggest you grab one. I will be doing a full review soon on it. I'm looking forward to that. For the opening scene today, I decided just to make the video a little shorter. I didn't do a whole bunch of scenes with the MP5, but because of the delayed blowback of this platform, I wanted to see what it sounded like, so I decided to shoot some opening credit scenes with it that you already saw, I'm sure, and it sounded amazing. I don't remember if I shot it in the short configuration. Probably not. Ran out of time today, but magical sounding in the MP5 platform, as one could imagine. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Shout out to our sponsors, Two-Way Warehouse. They do a lot for us here on the channel. I actually just got a shipment in from them yesterday. And of course, my Black Card members, one of them of which is here today off camera. He actually, you've probably seen his truck in the background in some of those scenes. He rolled up here late. And he did a little shooting, and another Patreon member, Dan, he actually stopped by as well to do some shooting. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on this because he's probably gonna try to snag it from me when we're done today. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please click that like and subscribe button. It does help us organically as far as reach, and we have a lot of more videos planned for 2022. See you next time.